Okay, well, we're going to do some more double dipping on these days when we are not testing. We've got our test tomorrow, so you won't have any assignments posted tomorrow. But we don't have testing today, so we're going to do some double dipping. So today we're going to start comparing decimals. Our standard says compare two decimals to the hundredths by reasoning about their size. Recognize that comparisons are valid only when the two decimals refer to the same whole. Use symbols greater than, equal to, or less than to show the relationship and justify the conclusions. That means we're going to see which decimals are bigger and which ones are smaller in East Tennessee language. Which one's a little and which one's a big one. So let's find the little ones and big ones here. How about that? That's a little easier to say, isn't it? All right, we're going to start off. Now, looks like fraction bars, but we got to write these as decimals, remember? Okay, so make sure you write them as decimals. So what you're going to do, this first slide, is you'll put the decimal where the question mark is. These are obviously tenths. So remember what we do. We type in, I'm in present mode. Let me get out of present mode so I can actually type it in. Okay, what we do is we type in 0 point, in the tenths place we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 tenths there. Here we have 1, 2 tenths. So we're going to type in 2 tenths. And then we're going to go down here to the bottom and we're going to click which one's larger. We looked at this a little bit last week, one lesson. We looked at each place. A 0 in the ones place, a 0 in the ones place, a 6 in the tenths place, a 2 in the tenths place, 6 tenths. Obviously, you can look at a picture and see that 6 tenths is larger than 2 tenths. Now, you'll do the same thing on these, except I'll work one more example with you on this slide. You know what? I'm going to show you on the next slide because there's a confusing one here. All right, so these slides, we're doing hundredths to tenths, or tenths to hundredths, or vice versa. We're doing it the same way. We just have to put the decimal here. So this obviously is hundredths. How many hundredths are filled in? 1, 2, 3, 4 hundredths. So that's going to look like 0. 0 in the ones place, 0 in the tens place. We don't have a whole 10, do we? We only have 4 in the hundredths place. 4 hundredths, and this is 1, 2, 3. That's 4 tenths. So 4 tenths. Now, obviously, we can look at the picture, or we can look at the place value. 0 in the one spot, 0 in the one spot, 0 in the tenth spot, 4 in the tenth spot. So this one's bigger. All right, so that's how you're going to do the first two slides. There's no tricky ones, I don't think, on the first slide. I think that's the only tricky one. Just count the hundredths down here. It's not hard. The last two slides, we're looking at number lines. And so I'm going to work one for you because I don't want to work them all for you. There's only 4. All right, so we're comparing 4 tenths to 14 hundredths. What you have to do on every one of these question marks is put in what number is there. Do we have any hundreds in 4 tenths? We have 0 hundreds. Do we have any tens? No, we have 0 tens. Do we have any ones? No, we have 0 ones. How many tenths do we have? We have 4 tenths. How many hundredths do we have? We have 0 hundredths. Okay, this 14 hundredths, how many hundredths do we have? We have 0 hundredths. How many hundreds, sorry. How many tens do we have? We have 0 tens. How many ones do we have? We have 0 ones. How many tenths do we have? We have only 1 tenth. How many hundredths? We have a 4 in the hundredths place. So looking at this, the place value, 0, 0, 0, a 4, and a 1. So 4 tenths is larger. This time you've actually got to put it in. Remember, it's shift and the comma key beside your M. I mean the period key for this one beside your M to make it face that way. If it's got to get this way, it's the period with the shift key. If you got to make it face the other way, it's the comma with the shift key. So you can do that. You've done that before. Okay. You'll do this one the same way. These are the same, except you will have a ones. You won't have a 0. You will have a tens in this one, won't you? You won't have a 0 in the tens place. So make sure you look at those carefully. And that's how you do today's double dipping of math. Enjoy.